So let's just take a moment here to find our ground, to find the feet beneath us. Move around a little bit and see if you can feel how your feet connect with the mat. Step off the mat just a half a foot or so and just feel the difference in texture of like the wood or the carpet beneath your mat. And if you stand halfway on and halfway off, your feet have so many sensors in them. They sense texture, temperature, pressure. So just take a moment to appreciate your feet and then ground yourself to the earth. Let's take 3 deep breaths, arms reaching overhead, palms come across heart center. Breaths that are just helping us become present and centered here and now. One more time. And then let your arms rest by your sides, palms forward, shoulders on your back. Stand as tall as you can. Chest pressing forward with a sense of dignity. I'm going to offer a quote for our practice this morning. And I don't know who to attribute it to, but I love this. When you go into the dark places, be the one that turns on the light. And so as you're standing here right now, I'd like you to imagine that you are a light bulb of some sort, some kind of light. And this practice is designed to increase your wattage, to plug you into the wall and give you more light to shine. So maybe just get a sense of how bright your light is shining right now. Maybe there are parts of your body that feel a little dull or dark. Let's get into those spaces and let's turn on the light. Roll your shoulders onto your back and take a deep breath in. Exhale, loud. Roll your shoulders, deep breath in. Exhale as they drop down, and we'll do that one more time. Roll. Beautiful. So go ahead and pick up your light dumbbells, and we're just going to do a warm-up, a yoga sculpt warm-up. So keeping those feet firmly planted on the earth, the weights are just going to hang at your sides. You're going to take a deep breath in, lift through the crown of your head, and then exhale, sink your hips down into chair. Come up again. You might take your feet a little bit wider, just like you're doing a squat in the weight room, except slower and more intentional. Movement with breath. And I'd like you to start to use an ujjayi breath, a whisper breath that you can feel in your throat, like the throat muscles are constricting or expanding, so you can feel and hear your breath. And then we're just going to pick up the pace a little bit. So inhale, lift, exhale, sit. Just warming up the legs. Weight is in the heels. And come back to standing. Roll your shoulders one more time. Just notice if there's any heat building in your body. Let's leave the right foot where it is and step the left foot back into a warrior stance. And then we're just going to lean forward, let the weights hang down. And again, movement with breath. Inhale as the elbows lift. Exhale as the hands lower. Squeezing those shoulder blades. These are taking the place of chaturanga, so maybe you're happy about that. The next time the elbows lift, come up onto your toes. And you can either stay here or you might play with balance today. And we're just going to extend the arms back, warming up into those triceps. This works with no weights. Just tighten up your muscles. And if that leg is lifted, let the toe come down, rise up to a lunge. Come onto those back toes, hands by the shoulders. We're going to inhale, lift, straightening the front leg. Exhale, lower, bend both knees. Movement with breath, nice and slow. Hear that ujjayi breath. Kind of amazing how heavy these little tiny dumbbells get pretty quickly, yeah? You can even do this with 2 yoga blocks in your hands and you'll be amazed that even they get heavy. And let your hands come to your sides. The back foot is going to cross over the front leg. So the left leg crosses over the right, coming into eagle legs. You can touch down, hang out, or bind. Elbows in front of you. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Move with your breath. A practice of awareness with a little bit of resistance. Trying to turn on the heat. And release your hands, release your feet. Step out into a wide plie. Come down into goddess. And then in slow motion, inhale, lift, pull the elbows up and back. Exhale, nice deep squat. Hear the sound of your breath. Feel your muscles reacting a little bit differently because of the change. And with your hands at your sides, go ahead and turn to the back of your mat. We're just going to do that same little sequence. So warrior 1 stance, hinging from the hips, easy rows. 8 times movement with breath. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Slow motion. And the next time the elbows come up, you can stay here. Or if you like, you can balance, kicking back through the triceps, nice and slow. Is your body getting warm? And we'll drop that toe to the floor. Take your lunge, hands at the shoulders. Inhale to straighten the front leg. Exhale to lower. 2 more times. And as the arms come to the side, the right leg now wraps around into eagle. So take your eagle legs, touch, hang or wrap, elbows up, and we'll open and close 8 times. Steady gaze at one point, nice and slow with your breath. Is your body getting warm? Is that fire getting stoked? And release. Find mountain pose. Pause. Roll your shoulders. And let's come one more time out into goddess. Inhale, pull up and back. Get as high as you can to squeeze and as low as you can. The next time we come down into goddess, we're just going to set the weights down in front of us, hands on the inner knees, and press across. Start to breathe deep into your back. Let your navel pull into your spine as you exhale. And switch. Stretching with a straight arm coming into the back of the body. And then let's bring our fingertips to the floor, square the toes, and allow yourself to come down into the first real stretch of this practice. Checking in here, feeling the back of the body, breathing deeply. And lifting up to a flat back. Go ahead and take one knee to the mat. You can choose which side. Keep the other leg out straight and open your arms up into a T. We'll breathe into gate pose. Take a deep breath in through the side of your body and exhale to windmill those hands down, up and over. Inhale, gate. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, gate. Nice and slow. Windmill up and over. Come to a tabletop. Cat and cow. Patting up under your knees if you like. Just moving your spine nice and easy. Finding the dark places and turning on the lights. And then switching so the opposite knee is on the floor, extending the leg, open up into a T and over into gate pose. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, windmill the arms over. Inhale, gate. Exhale, over. And both arms windmill over. And take the knees out wide, big toes touch. Press back into child's pose. Let your forehead rest on the ground, on a block, or on your hands. Just let your hips sink down. Let your arms feel heavy. Let your breath move into those spaces. Raising back to a tabletop, let's tuck our toes And lift our hips, coming into downward facing dog. And make this a really happy dog, a wiggly dog, just moving through the hips as much as you can, bending a knee and then the other. Really wiggle in. Head is loose, shoulders are loose. And then let's walk our feet up to meet our hands. Take your time. Walk through regular footsteps. Find your forward fold, arms behind the legs. Give yourselves a little hug. Thank yourself for showing up today. Breathe in, breathe out long. Heel toe your feet wider. Come right out to the width of your mat and lengthen to a flat back. You might grab a block here. Another handy tool is you can use these little dumbbells in place of a block. So we're just going to lift the torso up a little bit for a twist. Right hand on the low back. Open your chest to the right, and as you do, bend the left knee. Just allow space there. And then switch. Twist to the left, bend your right knee. And start to move back and forth, right and left. If you'd like, you can sweep that arm up overhead, moving the stretch up into the shoulders and chest, moving at your pace. Try and keep a flat back. And come to center, lengthen through your spine. With knees soft, exhale, bend, grabbing the back of the heels, gently pull yourself down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, nice flat back. Exhale, pull to lower. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, lower. Fingertips on the floor or a block. Bend the knees deeply, lift the chin. And exhale to lower. Getting back into those hamstrings. And with soft knees, rise up. Come to extended mountain. Turn sideways, step your feet even wider. We're going to do sunflowers today. So on the exhale, deep bend in the knees, sweep the fingers down and lift. Use your Ujjayi breath. Good. Let's change this to moonflowers. So here, a goddess squat, keeping the torso upright. Lift and lower. Lift all the way up as high as you can. Turn your toes forward. Take one hand up and over, the opposite hand drops. Breathing into the side of the body. Staying steady with your breath. Breathing into the dark spaces. Lift high. The places that are constricted. The places where we sit a lot or round a lot. Breathe into those places. And release. Take the hands behind you, open your chest and hinge from the hips, soft knees, dive down. Find your breath here. What feels tight here, what feels restricted, soften there and breathe into that space. And release your hands to the earth. We're going to take a little flow here. So move your feet a little bit wider. I'll walk you through the first time nice and slow, and then you can speed up if you want. So we're going to walk toward the front of the mat into a lunge. You can have your knee down or knee up. I'm just going to take one breath in and then lower down. Move through the center. And same thing to the back of the mat, just a lunge, kneeling or on the toes. One inhale. Starting to move from the front to the back of your mat. Take your time. Just being interested with what you find here in your hips, your spine, your shoulders. Your breath determines the pace of your movement. If you like to do stretches when you first wake up and you get kind of tired of those sun salutations, this is a really nice little stretching flow for first thing in the morning. You can be on your knees or your toes. You can hook your thumbs if you want a little bigger stretch. Let's go one more time to the front and to the back. Big movement, big exploration. And coming back to the center, turn all 10 toes to the side. Forward fold, and this time we'll walk our hands way out in front of us, so it's like you're in a very wide downward facing dog. Maybe rocking side to side, feeling your chest expand, your hamstrings lengthen. So we're going to see if we can work this a little bit deeper. So on the inhale, come forward to a flat back, lift up onto your toes. I'm going to have to back up and walk your hands out. So you're in a very wide plank pose, and then walk back again. So let's create a flow with that. Come forward into plank, press back into your wide straddle. Remember that these little movements are like asking the body for permission. Instead of just going in fast and forcing, this is our way of just easing into the deep, tight spaces. Your knees can be bent or straight. Let's do 3 more. Loud, long exhales. And staying in your wide straddle. Hands come below the head and just hang here and see if that gave you any more depth in this posture. With soft knees, turn your toes out to the corners of your mat and drop your hips as deeply as you can. Hands to the thighs, press back up into goddess. If you get a little lightheaded, you might pause here halfway and just take your time coming up. Let the knees press out. Open your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, sink a little deeper. And let's go back to that hip opening stretch. So one hand to the inside of the knee, the opposite shoulder across. Come back to center and switch. Releasing fingertips to the floor, return to your lunge, right foot forward. Let's drop our left knee down to the mat. The hips should be nice and warm by now, ready for a little deeper look. Bring your hands to the inside of your right foot, and we're now in lizard pose. I'm going to offer some options here. Option one is stay right here. For some people's hips, this is plenty. Option two, start to drop that knee out and in, kind of juicing the right hip. Option three, take your foot a little wider. You can bring a block in and lower down to one or both of your elbows. You can do that with the knee open or upright. Final option, I know I'm giving you a lot, but I just want you to explore. Final option is just to move in and out, almost like little push-ups. So I just want you to explore your right hip. And what are you feeling around that hip? Come back to a kneeling lunge, hands split, hand on the floor or a block for a twist. Right arm wraps up and around toward the back wall. Take your deepest breaths so far. Deepest breath of this practice. You can stay here or maybe reach toward that back heel. A little deeper stretch in the quad. And let's release. All right, remember our little flow sequence. We're going to use that to get to the other side. So we're going to inhale. You can be on your knees or your toes, and then tuck the back toes, walk to the back of your mat. And we'll do that a few times. You should notice, you should be able to feel what's happening here. The inhale comes all the way up. Let's go once more to the front and the back. Hello, hips. And we'll stay toward the back of the mat. Let's come down into lizard, hands on the floor. If you used a block on the other side, bring that with you. Options you already know, so go ahead and find your lizard. Upright, knee out, knee up, movement in that left leg. Little push-ups or down and hold. Just explore here. Let your breath be deep and slow, and guide any movement choices you make. And from our kneeling lunge, split your hands. Let's find that twist. So hand on the floor or a block. Left arm reaches up and back. You can stay there or reach toward your heel. Finding those hips. And coming back, tucking the back toes, turning to the front of your mat. We have our wide stance. Come to the squat. Opposite shoulder to knee. Just pushing into the inside of that hip. And turning to the front of the mat one more time through the hip flow, lifting to lunge on knee or toes, walking through center to the back of your mat. See if anything has loosened, opened, or brightened. One more time, front and back. Coming back to center, pausing in wide straddle. Let your head come down. Sigh it out. Moving into a twist. So this is another place you might want to block. Come to your flat back, very much like what we did earlier. First of all, twisting to your right. So left hand on the block, right hand on the low back, open to the side. It's okay if your hips tip a little bit. Hand can stay low or lift high. Breathe into what you feel here. And release, switching sides. And release, turning to the front of your mat. All right, back toes are going to stay tucked. Lift up to high lunge. Hips should be good and open now. Let's take a hold of the left wrist. Pull the left side of the body up and out. Space, length, light, brightness. Let's release the hands to the hips for a moment. Drop your back heel, plant your foot into warrior one. And then the left arm reaches behind your back. So I'll show you this from behind. Left leg is back, left arm. You're gonna actually hold your own hand. So interlace your fingers and start to gently nudge that hand out a little wider. So you should feel a stretch here in the left side of your shoulder, your trapezius. You're gonna drop your head to the right. Breathe. You should have just found a nice tight spot that's tight on all of us. And then release the head, release the arms, float the arms up into warrior one and see if you feel anything different in the left side or the right side. And let your hands slowly just come down, almost like in Tai Chi. Slow energy down. We're gonna bring the back foot to meet the front. Pause in mountain pose. Notice your left side, notice your right side. I feel like I'm standing kind of crooked. So let's switch that up. Left foot stays in place, right foot finds its way back into high lunge. So take your time getting your foundation. Arms reach high. You can widen your stance. Hold on to your right wrist and pull that right side of the body up, up, up. Deep breaths. You've got all that length. Let's slowly bring hands to hips. We'll drop the back heel to the floor. I'll turn again so you can see. So wrap the right arm behind you and then hold your these. All right, come into boat pose. Option 1, stay right here in boat pose. Option 2, hold on to a dumbbell right here at your chest. And for ultra challenge, you're gonna hold a dumbbell between your feet. All right, so take a deep breath in, exhale. Inhale to lengthen your legs and your torso back. Exhale in. Inhale, exhale. And release. That is enough of that. Bring the soles of your feet together, hold on to the ankles and lift tall through the spine. So hopefully that just gave us a little extra heat. Round over your legs in butterfly, elbows on the insides of your shins, knees, lower legs. Deep breaths into your back. As we come up, we're going to move into a fun little twist. So right leg is going to be crossed over the bottom leg, and the bottom leg can be straight or bent. Either way, my knee doesn't love that on one side, so I'm going to keep my legs straight and this top leg in close to your body. So inhale, sit tall through the spine. Exhale, your right arm sweeps out, and let the arm lead the way as the torso follows. The head comes last. Set the hand down wherever it is. It doesn't have to be right behind your spine. Use the hand on the knee just as a gentle little hook. Lengthen through the crown of the head and then twist. And as you twist, pull the navel to the spine. Really wringing out that middle. You can let go of the Ujjayi breath now and just notice that breath is coming in and out evenly. Just notice even, equal breath. Come out of the twist, let the foot settle on the inside of the knee, arms reach high, exhale, fold over that front leg. Breathe in, breathe out. Come back to an upright seat. Let this left leg come out on an angle. Right hand behind you. We're going to scoop up and come onto that right knee. Just find this nice long side body stretch. Might even look behind you and drop down. Twist on the second side. So bottom leg can be straight or bent. Left leg crosses. Sit as tall as you can. Hug that leg in. And then the right arm left arm starts the action. Dropping down, lengthen, and turn. Let the belly button come in tightly on every exhale. Really exaggerate that pressure in your belly. Easing back to center. Drop the knee open. Reach high and fold forward. And let's come back to center. Knees in, lower down onto your back. Hug the knees into the chest and move around as much as you can on your back. Let the knees move separately, differently from one another. Just give your hips, your back, your ribs a nice massage. Planting the left foot on the floor, let's take a figure 4 with the right leg and then reach down, pull both legs in towards you. Nice hip stretch. That should be really juicy after all that hip stuff we did. You can flex this top foot to protect the knee and then one hand on the knee to press it away. One leg pulling in, one leg pushing away. Might feel good to keep moving a little bit here. And then keeping the figure 4, drop the left foot, open your arms and just let the legs fall to the left side. So a different kind of twist that should move down into this outer hip. Head turns right, deep breath. Big sigh. And as we come back to center, hold on to that right leg. Let the left leg fall flat. Give this right hip the tightest squeeze you possibly can. Just really pinch at the knee, pinch at the hip. Remember, our job here is to get into those dark places and really clean the corners. Now let's turn on the light in those spaces. Lower the leg to the floor and just feel for a moment as that fresh oxygen comes into the knee, into the hip, into your spine. And then we'll switch. Right foot on the floor, left foot in your figure 4. Draw the legs in. Left hand can press on the left knee, a little opening through your hip. And the right foot comes to the floor. Let's twist, arms open. Just drop the figure 4 to the right and turn the head to the left. Let the breath come in through your nose, all the way up into the crown of the head. Feel the exhale down in your hips. We'll make our way back to center. Hug the left knee, drop the right, and give this left knee the biggest squeeze. Compressing the back of the knee, compressing the crease of the hip. Really squeeze every last drop out. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly release, and just feel that fresh oxygen surging into those spaces. Find Shavasana. Relax your jaw, your head, your face. Relax your neck, your shoulders, arms, and hands. Rest your torso and your hips. Relax your legs, feet, toes. Feel the brightness of your body resting here, alive with energy and calm. Take a few more deep breaths here, lying on your back. And as you do, see if you can feel any tingling in your fingers, tingling in your face or the crown of your head, tingling in your toes, all signs of life and energy. Start to move your body, stretch, lengthen, breathe. Make your way to one side and back to a seat. Since we are all about making the light brighter today, I want to end with Kapalabhati breath. This is the breath of fire. And it's a breath that's forced. So you're pumping with your belly to force breath out. Okay. So start with one hand on your belly and just gentle pumping. As the belly comes in, it pushes breath out. So you can do it with your mouth like you're blowing out birthday candles. Or it can sound like shh, shh, shh. Or if you want to do it the more traditional way, use your nose. Ready? Take a deep breath in. Empty about half the breath and begin pumping your belly. The focus is on the exhale. You just have to trust that the inhale will happen. Keep going. 3 more. And then inhale all the way. Inhale even more, sip in more, hold your breath. And then exhale super slow. Pause to notice the crown of your head. This is known as the skull shining breast. Go ahead and bring your hands together, rub your hands together briskly. And when you feel that heat in your hands, that's another sign of life, another sign of your energy. Hold those hands very gently together, bow your chin. And as we leave this practice, we go out into the world, when we enter the dark spaces, may we be the ones who turn on the lights. Thanks for joining me today. Namaste.